Hi, I'm Julia. On this channel, using evidence and with the best of my ability, I summarise what's known about actions and strategies that can benefit your health and the health of our environment. In this episode, I explore the gut microbiota, that is, the community of microorganisms that live in our intestines. There's much we don't yet know about the role of bugs in our guts, but we do know that each of us is the host organism to trillions of bacteria that live in our intestines. These bacteria have been likened to an organ of the body. Their role is so important to our health. We're in a give and take relationship with them. They feed upon the food that we eat, and in return they influence our health. And just like other ecosystems, it appears that it's optimal for us to have a diverse community of gut bacteria. The diversity of our gut bacteria results from many influences, from where we were born and where we live to the antibiotics we may need to take. But the good news is that we can influence which bacteria thrive in our intestines. This is because the kinds of foods that we eat is one of the biggest drivers of the types of bacteria that live in our guts. If you're an omnivore, you will have different species and subspecies of bacteria, and the ratios of populations of these species will be different to those among people that eat plant-based diets, with more of the good or pro-healthy types of bacteria in the guts of those who follow a plant-based diet. When it comes to using diet to promote diversity of gut bacteria, consuming fiber in your diet is crucial. Fiber is comprised of various plant-derived carbohydrates. It's not digestible by humans, but gut bacteria can ferment and break down some of these fibers, and as a result produce short-chain fatty acids that have advantageous metabolic effects. Gut bacteria particularly thrive upon dietary fiber containing simple carbohydrates known as microbiota accessible carbohydrates, or MACs. Where can you find these MACs? The answer is in whole plant foods. Apparently whole grains, oats, garlic and onions are particularly good sources of MACs for your microbes. These types of foods are also called prebiotics, which means that they are the types of foods that contain the carbohydrates that bacteria can ferment and break down. Remember, when you eat, you're not just eating for one, you're eating for 1 plus trillions, and they thrive on MACs. So that means that it's likely that the best way to nurture your microbes is with a whole food, plant-based diet. And it's important to avoid artificial sweeteners, as there's some evidence that they can alter the diversity of your gut bacteria. Artificial sweeteners are bacteriostatic, that is, that they prevent bacteria from reproducing. Not good if you want a healthy and diverse population of good bugs. We all have the opportunity to make a big change when it comes to consuming fiber. It's estimated that only 1 in 20 of US adults get enough of it in their diets. To increase your fiber intake, add a variety of whole grains, vegetables, legumes and fruits to your plate. You'll know you're getting more fiber if you get more gas. Gas means the microbes are fermenting fiber in your intestine, and actually it's a positive sign you're eating fiber. You've likely heard of probiotics, which are fermented foods with bacteria such as live yogurt or kimchi or sauerkraut. It's not a bad idea to eat them as part of your plant-based diet if you enjoy them, but also keep in mind that most bacteria die in your stomach's acid environment, and the bacteria in the product may not make it into your intestine. And even if they do survive the journey, their presence may not make any difference to your health. When it comes to probiotic products, especially pills or supplements, I suggest taking a healthy dose of skepticism about the manufacturer's claims. It's probable that most of these manufacturers want to make money a lot more than they care about your health. Remember that bacteria are found on fresh vegetables and fruits. Perhaps you can introduce some friendly ones when you eat a big salad. Again, I provide another shameless plug for choosing a whole food, plant-based diet. I do recommend washing fresh fruit and vegetables before eating them, but washing alone won't kill all the bugs. And I suggest if you are eating plants that it's a good strategy to choose organically grown, if nothing else, just to reduce your exposure to pesticides and other agrochemicals. A diverse colony of bacteria in your gut may impact various aspects of health. Good species of bacteria can affect everything from your immune system to your brain to your heart health, as well as having various good metabolic effects. There's ongoing research to understand both the links between gut bacteria and health, as well as gut bacteria and illness. A recent study published in 2018 examined the gut bacteria's impact on type 2 diabetes. As I mentioned before, short-chain fatty acids can have beneficial metabolic effects, and a lack of them has been linked to type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic disease where your body becomes resistant to the hormone insulin and/or your body doesn't produce enough insulin. When insulin's messaging to your cells to uptake glucose doesn't work properly, sugar stays in the blood. And over time, this sugar in the blood can lead to many complications such as heart disease, nerve, kidney and eye damage, just to name a few. The research team in the study I looked at set out to examine whether certain types of gut bacteria promoted by fiber in the diet would produce short-chain fatty acids that would lower blood sugar levels. If yes, it's evidence for use of a whole food, high-fiber diet to encourage certain types of bacteria in the gut and thereby stabilize blood sugar levels when treating type 2 diabetes. To answer their question, the researchers randomly assigned people with type 2 diabetes into two groups: the control group that received standard dietary information and the experimental group who received a whole grain, high fiber diet. They also included some traditional Chinese foods reputedly medicinal and prebiotics, which are, remember, the foods containing plant carbohydrates that are fermented by gut bacteria. These groups followed their respective diets for 12 weeks, and the average blood glucose was measured by hemoglobin A1C. That's a test that reflects an average blood sugar level over a 2 to 3 month period. The researchers reported that the experimental group had lower average blood sugar levels than the control group. They also looked at the genetics of the gut bacteria in the participants. Among the high-fiber experimental group, the researchers found increased bacterial subpopulations of the types of bacteria that produce short-chain fatty acids. These short-chain fatty acids are absorbed into the blood and promote good metabolic health in various ways. Interestingly, in this experiment, the researchers took gut bacteria samples from before and after the intervention from both the control and experimental groups and inoculated them into germ-free mice. They did this to try and find a causal link between gut bacteria and improvement of blood sugar levels. They reported that mice with the bacteria from those who'd followed the whole grain, high fiber, prebiotic diet had better blood sugar levels than the control group mice. So this is evidence that the bacteria themselves, rather than another aspect of the diet, was what affected the blood sugar levels. In conclusion, the researchers suggested that promoting the bacterial subpopulations that produce short-chain fatty acids may be a new way to help manage type 2 diabetes. My takeaways from all of this are: give your gut bacteria some food that they thrive upon. Eat more whole grains, vegetables and fruits, preferably a whole food plant-based diet. It's what I like to call a power plant diet. Don't worry about farting. It shows that your gut bacteria are fermenting the carbohydrates that you couldn't digest without them. Sometimes gas can be painful, so introduce fiber slowly, and if you find certain foods cause you problems, substitute them with a different grain or vegetable. There's so many to choose from. Remember, carbohydrates are not all bad. Unlike refined sugar, the starches and carbohydrates in whole food plants are good for your gut bacteria and for your health. Follow a paleo diet at your peril. You need fiber and you need carbohydrates from plants. Thanks for watching, and please remember to like this video and subscribe to Your Care Plan on YouTube. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Please share your comments and let me know if there are future topics you'd like to see on this channel. And if you want to research further into this topic, I've included a list of references in the video description. Thank you.